Hello everyone, welcome to another stats guide video for the PCN. So, gonna basically do a big update of the video I think we put out around a year ago. Kind of go over everything, procedures, and then what it looks like to actually put in stats from a game. So you guys can look at this video, you can see how I do it as the head admin, and how I want you all to do it, so you can see the things that I do. Just so there's no issues for you guys. Because when you guys are messing up stats, it means that we have to tell you what you're doing wrong. It means we have to go in and correct you. It just creates a lot of unnecessary work. So if you can do it right the first time every time, it just helps everyone. So first place to start is here on the forum. If you go to rules, there is a stats rules place. It has all the information you need. So kind of explains the whole process, and there's another video, about a 4 or 5 minute video, that explains all this a little bit as well, about what to do for taking a stats video. So managers need to take stats every game, especially Super League and League One. That's 100% required now. You need to look at the player rating screen, and you also need to show the player performance. You need 24 hours to put stats in, 48 hours to put the link on the forum. If you use StatPad, you're probably going to be out of here, so don't do it. Here's the guide for each position. I won't go through everything, but you can see certain positions or get certain stats, other ones don't. Passing points is down here. Should all kind of make sense for you. Just look at all this. You can look at this on your own time. I don't want to spend too long on that. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to put some stats in for my team from Milan last night. So we have 3 games. I have the links already ready. So we play Bayer Leverkusen in the league. We played Manchester United in the league, and then we play Leverkusen again in the Royal Cup. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a brief what you're going to do for the stats videos and putting them in the forum. So like I said, there's a full video for that. But you're going to want to come down here to team stats videos. You're going to find your league, you'll find your team, and you can make a post from there. So I went ahead and made the post just to save a little time on this video. You can see going to AC Milan stats. There's a template here, so you just need to copy and paste this and basically put all the information in. I just put the date, I put the team name, and then I just went and copied the links here and just put them directly in there. It links it to it. Very simple. And we basically, like, it needs to be these kind of clips. It needs to be clips from Gamer DVR, from Xbox DVR, from Xbox Clips. When you just put the link to your stream, especially without a timestamp, that means the admins have to go in and try to find your stats, and it's a pain in the butt. And also, after a couple weeks, those videos go away from your profile. So if it's 3 or 4 weeks later and we want to go check stats from a game, we can't do that now. So please, it's not that hard. You just double tap the Xbox button. I think you've all taken recordings on your Xbox before. You can have multiple people on your team do it. Take these videos, and then the links will appear about 20-30 minutes after on these websites. They'll be uploaded. Post them here, and you'll get your stats. You need to do this for every game. So that's all that. So let's go ahead and put some stats in for the game. So this is the game I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do the Manchester United stats right now, but I will do the 2 Leverkusen games. So let's start with the League One first. So this is the 3-2 game. So you can see here 3-2. There's a little bit more on my screen because I've got those access. But basically, you'll have something very similar to this, and you'll just want to hit statistics. And then it should just come up with your team, but since I have an admin, I see both team stats. But anyway, get to your team, and now you're here. So before you even put any of the stats in, obviously you're going to make sure you know what your lineup was. So I'm going to go ahead and put our lineup in real quick. I think I know what it was last night. So first things first, you're always going to check started no matter what game it is. If it's a cup game, if it's a league game, it doesn't matter. You are always going to click started. And there's a nice thing that happens once you've put stats in. The next game when you go to put stats in, once they've been saved, it will ask you, do you want to put your lineup back in from the last game? And once you hit yes on that, all the people who played the last game will have their positions and the starter button already checked for you. So it saves a lot of time. But no matter what, you're always going to click started. For league games, you're always going to click games played as well. So always started, no matter what, always games played for league games. So let's go ahead and put everybody in their spots. Get a big roster, so might take a second. Bowers in left mid. And the more specific you can do, the better. That'll just help us and it'll help you. So right defensive mid instead of just defensive mid. Things like that. Alright, so everyone has now had their boxes checked. They're all in the lineup. So now if we go back to the video, so you can see what Rio does everything right that he needs to right here. So the game ends, it's 3-2. Goes into the post game. So two things you gotta do. You gotta come down over here to player ratings. And now you can see if there's any yellow or red cards. You don't have to go through the stats like this if you don't want to, it doesn't matter. But you have to look at that for the yellow and red cards. Then you come over here to performance, and you're going to cycle through all the players, gets all their stats, and now you're good. You don't have to do that quickly, but it's very easy to, on these websites, to just do this and kind of drag, and you can look at all the stats. So let's go ahead and put all the stats in. So I kind of just go left to right. I kind of start here and then work my way there. So, or you can kind of do it based on the categories here. So his stats are pretty, this is Rio's guys, it's pretty simple. So the only thing it looks like he really has is these 4 passing points. He's got 4 possessions won, 1 possession lost, and he's obviously going to have the 2 goals against. So we'll come down to Rio, and you can still see everything up here. So we will go to passing points. That'll be 4. Possessions won 4. Possessions lost 1. Goals against 2. Do not put zeros in. It takes so much more time for you, and it's a pain in the ass for us. So just, if a player doesn't get a stat somewhere, don't put a 0. Please don't do it. It doesn't make any difference. So just don't do that. And then we'll go to the next player. He went really fast. So Makino. So go find Makino. I think he's at the top. So you can see he's got an assist actually, and then he has 2 interceptions. And for things like, and he also has three blocks. That's a lot actually. So tackles, it's just this tackles 1. You don't worry about the loss. You don't worry about the percentage. Interceptions, it's just this number. Blocks, if there's any, will be that second number. So he actually has. That's about. I don't know if I've ever seen 3 blocks before. That's impressive. Coming over here, 80% passing, that means 2 passing points. Possessions won and lost, he's got 2 and then 3. Obviously he has 2 goals against as well. So that is stats for Makino. There we go. And our last center back, Beast. We'll come down here. So he also doesn't have any tackles, interceptions. He actually didn't have any possessions won, so he just has the possession lost and 1 passing point. And then the 2 goals against. Next player will be myself. So I'm right here. So 2 passing points. I will start at tackles. So 4 tackles, 5 interceptions, 2 passing points, 7 possessions won, 2 lost, 2 goals against. Next up is Lego Dog. So you need to make sure you know who's pro is what, because obviously when you come here it doesn't show their gamer tag. When you're doing the stats, you need to know where everyone played, and you need to know their player names so you can do this. So Lego Dog had 3 passing points, 1 tackle, 5 interceptions, 7 and 2 as well, and 2 goals against. Next up is going to be A1 Boss, who is our right mid. So come up here. No assists or key passes, but he does have 1 tackle, 1 interception. So outside mids do get tackles and interceptions. Looks like he had 1 passing point, 75%. 2 possessions won and 5 lost. Outside mids, though, and center mids and above do not get any goals against, so you don't need to worry about that. Next up is Bauer. He had 2 passing points, the 80%, 2 tackles, 5 interceptions. Next we go to possessions won and lost, 5 and 3. So he is done. Next we have a Vols. He's right here. So he has 1 assist, 3 key passes. Cams don't get tackles, but he did have 2 interceptions, which Cams do get. He also had 1 block, but Cams don't get blocks, so you would not include that. 2 passing points. And then possessions won and lost, he had 3 won and 6 lost. Oh, dang. Next up is going to be Louis. So, down here at the bottom. So we're going to go all the way back over because he did have a goal. And you can see he had 1 shot. So for shots attempted, because there's 2 categories here. So shots attempted and shots on target. So shots attempted is going to be these numbers added up. So on and off target. So he just had 1 shot. It was on target, it went in. So that's just going to be 1 for shots attempted, 1 for shots on target. And then you see he also had a key pass. He had 3 passing points. Doesn't get tackles or interceptions even if he'd had any, and then no possessions won, 9 lost. So that is him done. Next up will be our other striker, Batistuta. So you can see he had 1 goal, 2 shots, 1 of them was on target. You can also see he had a key pass. 2 passing points, and then 1 possession won and 10 lost. Next up we have our goalkeeper. So let's see if we can find Vegetable. So here he is. So passing points is a little bit different for goalies. It's 80 to 99 is 1 point, 100% is 2, so 50% he doesn't get anything. You do not put possessions won and lost in. You don't put interceptions blocks. The only thing you worry about from this entire side is passing points. Do not put them in. Shots, so saves is basically just going to be these 2 numbers added up. So 2 and 2, that makes 4. So he has 4 saves. He obviously conceded 2 goals. And I think we should be back to Rio. So we have everyone's stats in. So the last thing you would want to do, obviously if you had any cards, you put those in. If you had clean sheets, if we hadn't given up any goals, obviously Vegetable would get a goalkeeper clean sheet. All of the defenders, defensive mids would get the checks here. Not him, but Rio would get it. Obviously we didn't keep clean sheets, so we don't get that. If you play with less than 10 or less than 11, you play with an any, you're going to want to click the any button next to whoever was the any. And then the last thing you want to do is pick a man of the match. So there's all sorts of ways you can do this. Every team, there's no set way of doing it. You can just go based on player rating. You can go based on as a manager who you kind of felt like did the best, and you pick that. You can do a team vote. It's really kind of up to you, and you can give a man of the match whether you win the game, draw the game, lose the game. Just for the sake of this, because I think he scored the winning goal. I'll talk to my manager. We're gonna probably change this, but just for the sake of this, let's give the man of the match to Batistuta. Now you come down here, you click update. Now all of the stats are in. You can double check them if you want, but if you put them in, they should be good. You saw exactly how I put everything in, player by player, no zeros, all that stuff. Once you're done with that, you can go back to results. And I'm not going to put the United stats in, but I'm going to show you what happens if you put the stats in for the game before, and then you click statistics for this game. Something pretty magical will happen. It says player positions, set based on the previous match. So I hit this button, and already everyone who played last game is in their position, and they have the starter button. Just saves you a little bit of time. Obviously, if someone has switched out, even if one or two people switch out, you can still do this. And then, let's say Rio didn't play that game. Let's say Nations played right center back. This would be this simple to do that. Obviously, you want to, then you'll need to hit games played again for everyone, and then put their stats in. But that's just a quick way to save time. I'm going to put Rio back in. But that just kind of shows you that the time saver, and it goes ahead and makes sure that you're always doing started. If you always are doing stats, and then you do the next game stats, it's also easy that way. So, got the lineup in for that game, so that'll be easier when I go back to do those stats. So, the last thing that we're going to do in this video is we're going to do the cup stats. So, go down here to statistics again. We'll have to go to road team statistics. And because I put the stats in already for the second game, I can do the same thing with the positions for this game. And like I said, you always want started, so even if this is a cup game, it's good that you have this started. There was one change in this game. I decided to sat out so I could watch this Game of Thrones finale. Who knows if that was worth it or not, but anyway, Quad came in, played my position, so that was the only change. So this is a Royal Cup. So for League Cup, Super Cup, Royal Cup, you are not going to use any of these stats. So just once you have your positions and started, just come on down. Come on down. So Cup, all of these stats are going to be for the League Cup, the PCN Cup, or Super Cup, or if you have a promotion playoff, all those stats will go here in Cup. If you have a Royal Cup game, all the stats are going to come here in the Royal Cup section. So this is where I will be doing this. So what you're going to want to do instead of hitting games played is you want to hit Cup appearance for whatever the cup is, obviously. So I'll do that real quick before we get started. So now everyone has the cup appearance in there. So obviously the stats are simpler for cups. There's not as many. So we can go over here to Quad's video, and we will get the stats. So this is also something important. I wanted to show you guys this, is that this is a tie game. So in a tie game, in friendlies, it wants you to keep playing, obviously, because that's the game mode. But so what you need to do is you only have these 40 seconds to do the same thing and get all your stats. So you still want to quit out, obviously, unless it's a knockout cup game, you wouldn't keep playing. But Quad makes sure he gets the stats. Yeah, so that's another way to also, what he just did right there, that was another way to show if someone gets a yellow card or not, is to go look at the actions. Or you can come to here as well. So you can see left center back, that's Beast, he got the yellow card. And actually I can see here now that if I'm going to look at this, is Quad actually switched to left DM and Lego was right DM. So I will go fix that real quick. I wasn't aware that they switched. So that's a simple switch. Okay, so now stats. Pretty simple. It's just going to be goals, assists, tackles, saves, clean sheets, man of the match. And you won't even have tackles for normal cup games. So if we go back to here we go. So we will start with Quad. So he didn't have any goals, assists, tackles. He didn't have anything, and then they didn't keep a clean sheet, so he's not going to get anything. Next player. Even more of a pain in the butt. So right mid, Boss had a goal and 3 tackles. And just based on that, seems like he had a pretty good game. I wasn't playing. Obviously, you would have a different system of picking man of the match, but I'm going to go ahead and give him that man of the match. And make sure you're just doing the Royal Cup man of the match, you're not doing the regular man of the match. Alright, next up, oh dang it. Oh, sorry guys. Bauer, you can see no goals, no assists, no tackles. For Avols, Cam, he had 3 tackles, but he's a Cam, so he does not get them here. You can see this is Louis, no goals, no assist, No goals, no assists for the striker. Goalkeeper, so he will get his 2 saves. Obviously, no one kept a clean sheet, but you would do the same thing. Obviously, if there was a clean sheet, he would get this checked here. And then Maquinho was a defender, he would get the defensive clean sheet. So that's how that would go, obviously. So you can see here, Rio had 2 tackles in defense. So put a 2 there. Don't know why it keeps doing this. So Maquinho didn't have any tackles, no goals, no assist. And then the last player, Beast, had 1 tackle. And then finally, Lego also didn't have any tackles or anything. So that's all you would have to do. If I say someone had the assist or more goals, tackles, whatever. But that's all you do for Cup, for Royal Cup. And it's the same basic thing for Cup. If it's a Cup match, just make sure you're doing it in the Cup area only. And then obviously when we have international tournaments, which is a completely different thing, you will only be using this area. So you will only use started international caps, and then all of these stat categories. You won't worry about any of this. You won't worry about any of this. You won't worry about any of this. So all these full stats you only do for league games. Correct Cup stats for each Cup. And then you are always going to put the position, and you're going to click started. So hopefully that all made sense to everyone, kind of seeing me go through 2 different types of games, a Cup game and a league game, putting the stats in for every single player. Hopefully I showed you a quick little way of how to get the lineups in for the next game based on the last lineup, and hopefully this kind of clears up what you're supposed to do. So no zeros, make sure you're putting the stats in for the right players, which obviously, once again, come back and reference this. Once you get the hang of it, it shouldn't be too hard. But if you're doing stats wrong, we're going to get on you for it, and you're going to be annoyed, and it's going to take time for us to go and fix your stats. So just review this, and then review this video. If you've made it here 22 minutes in, did the best I could, try to go a little bit quicker, but that's just how it goes. So just make sure you would hit update. Obviously, I don't think I've done that. Now the stats are saved, and that's how you do stats here in PCN. So hopefully this guide helped. Sorry it took a little longer, but I think I just want to be very thorough with this one. Show you everything that comes with doing stats. Takes a little bit getting used to get a rhythm, but after you get to it, I think it really shouldn't take more than about 15 minutes to do your stats. And obviously, you can have this pulled up in a different window. You can have it on a different computer and your phone. However, it is easiest for you to look at the stats and then be doing them. Normally it would be a little bit quicker for me because I wouldn't be doing this back and forth. I just wanted to do this all in the same window to kind of show you guys. So thanks again. Hopefully this helped, and have a good season, everybody. And hopefully you guys can look at this and it'll make sense.